Concrete's real brittle, so I'm gonna go bust it off. As you can see, the hole has a lot of moisture in it. It's Ronnie here, and it's another day in South Carolina. You never know what you're gonna get. Hey guys, welcome back to Earlybird Farm SE. As you can see, it's raining. Today is April 1st, and I guess God had a good April Fool's joke for me today. If you remember back one of the last videos or two that we did, we went to a plant sale in Asheville, North Carolina. It was called Plants for Everyone. We bought a numerous amount of plants. We bought some trees. We've already planted some of those, as you've seen in that video where we planted the pecan trees, and we planted the fuyu and the giro persimmon and the pink lady apple tree. What we have left is our blueberries, muscadine vines, which we have 4. We have our blackberry bushes that we bought with Matt from Dean Family Acres on the group buy. In order to plant those muscadine vines, I have to have a trellis for them. I probably could go ahead and stick them in the ground and do the trellis later, but I don't want to be working over the top of them. I want to go ahead and get it done. So this week I've been gathering my materials. I got all my tools ready. I got my tractor out. My wife was going to cut grass while I was doing all this, and then I was gathering up my materials when the bottom fell out. Let's walk you over here and show you what we have done so far in the area that I'm talking about, where I'm going to put these at. Now this area, I've already laid off how I want these. I think I've already got the measurement, the distance, the spacing. I'm doing 2 40-foot trellises, and each 40-foot trellis will house 2 muscadine vines. So I'll have an end post, and then I'll move 10 feet, have a muscadine vine, move 10 feet, have a T-post, move 10 foot, muscadine vine, and then move 10 foot and an end post. And I've already got my wire, my post, my grapples to hold the wire, come along to stretch the wire. I got everything I need, but the first thing I needed to do is put these posts in the ground and let them set for a couple days to harden up. My hopes is that this rain will move out of here, or at least slack up. It's kind of slacking up now, but I can get out here and later this afternoon and maybe go ahead and drill these holes and set these posts. Where these are, there's no grass there. I had it graded a few weeks back, and I need to get out there. If I get out there with the tractor, it's going to be very muddy, and I don't think I will get stuck because it's not soft in this one area, but I just don't want to make a big mess of what I've already had graded. So that's my only concerns right now. Alright guys, welcome back to Earlybird Farms. It's a few hours later after that storm rolled through. I come out here at one point when it was drizzling, and was going to set up some strings out here for my post, and the bottom fell out. So I've dried off and changed clothes again. So I'm back out here. The sun's out. Looks like all the clouds have rolled away, but the ground is drenched. Like an idiot, I tried to drive the tractor down here and almost got it stuck. So we're going to work on putting up our strings for these 2 runs right here so we can at least get them straight. And that way, when we get some dry time, we can come out here and put these couple holes in the ground and be done with it. We may end up having to use post hole diggers. Like I said, it's just 2 holes. It ain't really that big of a deal, but the auger on the tractor would make this job so much easier. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get in here or not. So after a couple days of no rain, we'll check it again and see where we at. In the meantime, I'm gonna set you up on a time lapse while we're trying to figure out this string line and see where we go. Even my time lapse failed. Here you can see where the wind blew it over. I picked it up, and it didn't last too much long, and it blew over again. The wind was terrible this day, as you can see the trees. But we got some of the lines laid out, and we moved to the next step. There you go, good picture of the sky there. So I went ahead and put my trellis up. I didn't get any video of doing that. As I was showing in the previous video on April 1st, it was raining, and I got some clear weather and got all my stuff out here, and it started raining again. Then a day or so later, I had some more time that I can work on this and got my equipment together, and it started raining again. And at that time I just stayed out here and did it while it was raining. So we got our trellis put up. Both of ours are 40 feet. You see we got 2 of them here together. And what we're gonna do today is hang our wire. We're gonna use these little vise clips that we ordered off of Amazon. We got all this information from Matt Dean at Dean Family Acre and Kinfolk Farms. That's where we kind of mimicking what they're doing here. Like I said, I'm not taking any credit for any of this. I'm just learning from others because this is our first time building a trellis. And I'm just showing you a couple things that I've done. And I've already made a mistake on our pole here, as I think I hung my wire a little too high. I'm gonna see what it's like and we'll go from there. Basically, I'm gonna drill a hole through the front of this pole here, through the back. And I basically just got a long, this is a paddle bit with a screw tip on it. I'm using 3/8 inch paddle bit. So I already got a hole drilled here. I drilled this the other day. Had this other bit right here. I originally ordered the wrong ones of these vices. I didn't have them for 9-gauge wire. I had them for 12-gauge wire, which I'm going to use for the bottom. These are a little bit longer, so I'm going to drill this with a little bit heavier bit. You know, about the distance of this right here. And then I'm going to use this cone-shaped bit here. And this will give me a good taper inside here to allow for this flare of this nose here. Should work out just fine though. Well, we're gonna go up one more size bit. We'll go up another size bit. All right, let's try this again. I think that'll do it right there. Now we got to do the lower one here. We're going to do this in about knee height. Alright, so the next thing we got to do, we got all of our vices mounted. Now we're going to stick our wire through the hole. We're going to go to the far end up there, stick the wire through the hole, run it back this way, cut off a little bit of slack, stick it through the hole, and then we're going to hook it to a come-along and then to our tractor so we can pull it. I think that's the best scenario because I don't have enough room up there to get. All right, guys, it is April 13th, and I'm still messing with this trellis system that we started on April 1st. I can't remember if I told you yet or not, but last week, or earlier in this week, we were putting our trellis wire in. I'm gonna show this in this video. And the come along I was using was not working. It was giving me a fit. So I come up with this bright idea to hook it up to the tractor. Well, I was just barely putting any pressure on it when I pulled this pole out of here. So that made me reaffirm the belief that I needed to have some kind of counter on this. Something similar to like an H brace, but I'm gonna put what they call like a dead leg on this. Basically what I'm gonna do is drive a T-post in the ground on the back side and angle it. And then I'm gonna use some of the 9-gauge wire, wrap around the pole, go down to the T-post, and then I'm gonna go buy a tensioner, and I'll tighten that tensioner. In the meantime, I'm gonna pull this post, since it's not solid no more, and in hopes that I'm gonna drill the hole back out and re-concrete it. About 80 pounds of concrete to put on this, and hopefully once I get all these other ones dead leg, that I won't have this issue with it pulling or sagging. I also bought me a come along to use so I can do it slowly and hopefully not pull my poles over. So I'm not going to video a whole lot of this today. I'm going to try to show a little bit of the process, but not much because I don't have my tripod with me. So I'll show you a little bit along the way. And I will say that South Carolina, April 13th, and it kind of rained a little bit today, not much, just a little sprinkle, and I'm already getting bit by mosquitoes out here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this nylon strap, I'm gonna wrap it around this pole at the base, and then I'm gonna wrap it around my bucket, and we're gonna slowly put some pressure on it, see if we can't lift it up out of the ground. Concrete's real brittle, so I'm gonna go bust it off. As you can see, the hole has a lot of moisture in it, so we're gonna bust this off of here. Pulled it up no problem, but I think that's probably why my pole pulled out. So I'm gonna go get something to bust this off of here. All right, so I got this pole reset. I got it braced up for tonight. I actually mixed the concrete tonight and poured it in the hole. We used an 80-pound bag on this. I probably could have used another 60-pound on top of it, to be honest. Another thing that I did different, the pole's in the ground probably about 6 or 7 more inches, which messed up the height of my vices. So I'm gonna have to drill another hole yet again. I don't like that, but I'd rather have my wire at the right height. And another thing I did different was I angled this post back this way. So I'll put, like I said, I'll put my T-post in the ground, and I'll rig up that that wire going from the post to the T-post. I'll use a wire strainer. So I got about 4 wire strainers and a wire strainer tool, a tensioner tool, to tighten the wire, and I'll just put just a little bit of tension on it. I don't want to put much. And then I'll pull my wire back that way, and then hopefully it'll be solid. I won't have any more problems out of it. One thing I noticed, I've always done this all my life. My dad did this, but we put the concrete in the hole and don't really put any water on it without mixing it or anything. Just, it will set up. I think it takes a lot more time. Most of the times when we were doing that, we were building deer stands, so it didn't matter. There wasn't nothing pulling horizontal against it. It was just sitting in a hole. And over time, after, I don't know, 30 days or so, the concrete would be rock hard. This concrete was not rock hard. It was very brittle that was around this pole. I could knock it with a regular 16-ounce hammer and bust it apart. So that's one thing, one reason why I think this failed. I'll note that next time to always mix it, or somewhat mix it. I mixed this really well. But anyway, the saga continues. I guess I'll make this a 2-part series. And I just want to make a note that whatever you see on video, when you see people doing things and it always turns out perfect, just want you to know that's not always true. They edit stuff out. I could have left all of this out and showed you how perfect it looked when I got done, and you would have never known the difference. I chose to leave this in here to be honest and upfront, to let you know that I messed up. I always mess up. I don't always mess up, but I mess up a lot. If it's not something that you do every day, you know, this is the first time I ever built one of these, and I'm going off of several things that I've seen and prior experience from building fences when I was a kid. So whatever you see on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, it's not always reality. So the moral of that story is to get out there and do it. Don't be afraid to mess up. I also want to note that we got some exciting things coming up this year, possibly into next year. We got something that we're going to launch. I don't want to divulge it just yet, but I want y'all to know that I'm working on something for the local area, and I'm excited about it, and I hope you'll be excited about it too once I announce it and you'll support it. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to our channel, we'd love to have you stick around. Also, there will be a video that'll pop up here and here. Check one of those out. I think it'll be something that you'll like, something relevant to what you're watching here. We'll see you next time on Earlybird Farms SC, where the SC stands for South Carolina.